Hello, today is the 9th of February 2026 and it's a Monday. This is yours truly, Clarice T. So welcome to my session where I try to complete the production, be it in music, be it as content creator. So right now, Monday, I would like to share about how I evolved into being full-fledged music artist, because it started as, pardon the wind, it's blowing so hard here in Lucena City, but great thing that the sun is out. So anyway, I started as a novelist. And then when I got an offer, collaboration to write a song, shifting from prose, literary writing novels like in Tagalog and essay, also young adult fiction, was not an easy transition. I had to be corrected by the musician by saying that, my lyrics were complicated and it's not suitable for being sung. So there's another discipline which, without a formal training, I had to do like trial and error. Finally, I had some background in music, like piano, reading notes, and through the help of the notes I drafted with some tunes in my head, I dabbled into creating melodies, stanza by stanza, line by line, paragraph by, do you say paragraph? Well, anyway, after that, I began to experiment with the melody and the lyrics. If it's going to strike a chord with me, if I can identify with it, if I can be, of course, it's always a first person, okay? So I wasn't feeling safe enough or confident enough to write something that I have not experienced or thought of, having another singer in mind, because I did not have that kind of confidence to have my music be interpreted or be sung by another, because they might think, they might not like it, or they might say, oh, it's too amateur, or it's not good. So I would since I had a time and I had the kind of patience to work on it, I truly believe that what I should write is something that I can proudly sing, and that I would still be honest about it. So over time, years went by. Only now, 2026, by God's grace, that I will be publishing my own kind of raw music that I can produce, notwithstanding the limitations and inaccessibility that I have. It didn't come to fruition, my offer for collaboration for original music. So from day one up to the time when I can finally upload it, promote it, I had to do everything by myself, because it truly costs something. I cannot put a price and then haggle for the skills and the talent and the time of other musicians who might not believe in the way that I do, what music is for me, what music is doing for me, and for whatever cause that I have. So everything has to be done by moi. And yeah, so it's going to say something about me as a songwriter, what my mindset is, not legal mindset. Shout out to Andrew Esquire, hello. And anyway, so my mindset as a songwriter, Clarice, the songwriter and also the music artist, because I will be the one to play the basic instrument, to see how it goes, and then to record it as a singer, then upload them. So it's 2026. I hope that in the months to come I will be able to polish everything. It's going to be very raw and it will shout something to the I hope that the need to polish it some more will be an offer for collaboration with some musicians who will look upon me as in need of further supplements for whatever I have. This is the extent of what I can produce, and I hope that real great talents somehow will find it in their heart to collaborate with me. So anyway, as I share with you some the beginnings of this song, the day you called my name, yes, the day you called my name, yeah, it's so very poignant for me. It is something that I have thought of. So my mindset, how my mind thinks, how I process my thoughts, how I relate to my family, to other people, to people around me, they will show in the works that I do, especially with music, and especially with this music. That's why I want this to be a background of this podcast. So some principles that I had observed through the years, after realizing there was no end in sight in terms of controversy and allegations in my personal life. Well, I heard something, a phrase that had been uttered by this channel, this podcaster and her guest, and it struck a chord with me. I have my own, it sparked something in me. They refer to it as spiritual hygiene. Well, first off, I had a personal history with when it comes to hygiene. Is it questionable? Yeah, in light of something like lacking of sufficiency of hygiene, but that is for another day, and it was straightened. What's that? I was able to straighten it. So it's not a big deal nowadays. Well, anyway, shout out to Melissa Doherty and her guest, Miss Anna Kitko. The link I will provide because they had a very good discussion about like in the church, narcissism, the narcissistic personality. Whoever had been, I am not one of those fortunate enough to avoid being labeled as narcissist, and that the narcissistic streak had been one of the toughest challenges that I had to overcome. So yeah, the loudspeaker is on. So I figure it might make sense in the context that I'm going to describe, it also makes sense to describe my own psychological hygiene. And these are some of the reasons for such a term, which I claim to be an accurate description of that can be said why I am sticking to these time-tested principles. Number one, I'm going to use the microphone. Yes, I'm going to use this microphone. No, never mind. Number one, how real is the relationship between two actively involved persons, or how real is the interrelationship between members of a group and an association, or even in real family situation? Like, how can we tell if there really is, there is a safe definition of not safe, that you are in a safe zone for admitting or confessing to a relationship that others might frown upon, or that if you had that situation in past wherein you were denied, well, in your thoughts you were in a relationship, but as it turned out, it was not mutual. So with that in mind, based from those experiences, I was able to arrive at certain principles which I believe is helpful, not only for me but for others. For me, it can be measured by day-to-day realities whereby we affect each other's welfare and well-being for better or for worse. So it's not always positive and it's not always negative. Sometimes, because imperfect beings forced to, or somehow chose to be with each other, will stumble upon that day when their imperfections will come to the fore and interact also. So these may be an extreme illustration, but it can happen with the time we're in. For instance, given my day-to-day chores or routine for myself as an individual, and another set of routines that I perform, that I function as a member of the family unit. Like for me, I'm a housekeeper. I keep the house, I do the kitchen duties, the cleaning lady. Yes, that's me. So it is being affected by another person for better or for worse, in a way that how I live my day-to-day life affects another person or group of people for better or for worse. So being affected, yes, it can be positive or negative, and most of the time it happens even without our consent or choice in the matter. Of course, if given a choice, we always want to do what's good and to have for other members of the family to always be pleased with us, to always be happy. But of course, that doesn't happen as much as we want to. Sometimes we cause sadness and pain, right? So if our neighbor whom we live with along the same street or within the same village, like if they can live the life that they chose without consideration for our wishes and our actions, then even if in my mind, at some point in my life, I was able to tell a friend or to confide, whether seriously or in light bantering, na, oh, you know what, we have a really close connection that is so secret. Nobody has known about it, discovered about it, but we truly, in our deepest of, we only have to look at each other and we can understand each other already, something like that. emo. So how never mind if we are judged by that confidential note, if we are judged by how it's going to turn out that it's just on our part, and that we would discover it in the most humiliating way, like we'd be laughing stock. They'd ridicule us. Never mind that, because it happens. Nobody is exempted from that. But for our own benefit, the kind of hygiene that we need in order to remain grounded, at least. Never mind if we at some point, over and over again, we're the butt of jokes for thinking that way. But we move on, and whether they like it or not, we actually grow from such an experience, right? So if they can live the life they chose without consideration for our wishes and actions, there always comes a time when I will flush that out of my system, assuming that it had stayed on my mind longer, like say half a day, a week, a month, and that close friends had started to be bothered by our unwelcome confidences, our unwelcome secrets being thrown their way. That's so hard to believe anyway, right? So, when I feel that, not just feel but believe so, and especially if someone has remarked about it, someone had said something about it, like my capacity to function had been affected both in the positive and or negative way, unbidden, but still it will come no matter what. That is our health, and that is our at the chance that it's going to be misinterpreted again, it's the inner voice that says I cannot be suppressed, and I cannot be repressed. How is that even possible, that we are connected in some way without even talking or without even speaking? And I cannot find words to explain it, to where it is coming from. These are the red flags for me. If I cannot put words when I am so worthy, and when I am so articulate, and when my words are actually tools of my trade. So if if it evades me, and that I can see that the life and the routine and the lifestyle, and if there is a way for me to see a window or of how the other person or persons or group of people are living their life, and they are not affected in any way by the life that I lead, whether I eat or not, whether I sleep early or not, whether I am happy today or not, it totally without any tangible direct effect. Of course, diba? Our inner self cannot be repressed and suppressed, and those things are red flag for me, that I myself will find truly where it all began, this feeling of connection and this feeling of being in a relationship with someone who might or might not be asked of the same thing that I am asking myself. Is there a reason, a tangible reason for holding on to the belief that there is something more, that there is a kind of relationship when our lives are not, day by day calendar dates, we are living the life that we're supposed to, and they are not intersecting with each other. We are like parallel lives in this world, in this life, and we're living our life in our corner, and they are she or they are living their lives in their part of the world, and there's no intersection whatsoever. So is it healthy to remain to that belief, even though in the past there might be some good indication, or that there was truly a confusing moment when you had entertained the suspicion plus wishful thinking plus some excitements because you probably were bored and you were looking for some sort of excitement, something like that. So we need that kind of hygiene. For me, it's what kind of hygiene is that? Thought process or thinking process hygiene. That lets us examine the things that we should keep and the things that we should flush out, because they are not good for us. They can either be toxic, or we had gotten all the nutrients. Like for each experience, there are lessons learned, nuggets, no matter how not obvious. However, we had to really, we cannot see any good thing that has happened in such an experience, but there are nuggets, and we had gotten them for ourselves. We've learned something, so we need to flush them out, and so that's a very good hygiene, right? So for instance, the people, the family, or the man that we thought we have a good connection with, well, I would somehow probably, one day examine myself, like these people are eating what and when they want to eat. They buy their food with the money they have, and the same goes here for us. So do I need to call a psychologist or psychiatrist to rage against this reality? But the consultation fee will be better spent on some kitchen items we've run out of, because there is none who will subsidize the housekeeper and this kitchen and this household, right? So these are the practical things that can be so ridiculously and obviously funny